Arteta is feeling the pressure at Arsenal Football Club like the weight of the Atlantic Ocean sitting on top of that Titan submarine. Arsenal are one crack away from catastrophic failure, and that crack could come in the form of Tottenham Hotspur tomorrow at the Emirates Stadium. The implosion won't be instantaneous, and it certainly won't be pain-free for the Arsenal fans if Spurs turn us over on Wednesday night. Arsenal are a powder keg ready to explode, and the one team you don't want there to witness the implosion is your local rivals, because they will be dancing on our graves. If Spurs beat Arsenal on Wednesday night, that will surely put the final nail in Arteta's coffin, and not even the Black Mamba from Kill Bill can 1-inch punch her way out of this coffin. With the defeat to Man United and knocking us out of the FA Cup, the fans are turning on Arteta, so a defeat to Spurs at the Emirates Stadium at home, could be the final straw that broke the camel's back. The milk's turned sour with Arteta, and the Arsenal fans ain't the kind of pussies to drink it. Look, listen, I'm not a toxic fan. I'm just a fan that wants to see us win trophies. I want my daughter to see Arsenal lift a trophy like I saw Arsenal lift trophies when I was a kid. Us Arsenal fans, we're bigger than Arteta. We are Arsenal Football Club here, yeah? We're bigger than Arteta. We're bigger than any manager. Whatever manager comes in is not going to trump the Arsenal fans. Look, at the end of the day, managers, they come and go, whether they're successful or unsuccessful. But what stands the test of time is the name Arsenal Football Club. That lives forever. And no manager, no board can ever take that away from us Arsenal fans. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say Arteta doesn't love Arsenal Football Club. He's an ex-captain. He's lifted an FA Cup as a captain for Arsenal. But you know the old saying, they say love is blind. And the blind love some Arsenal fans have shown Arteta, well, I ain't going to sit here and lie to you. I was one of them. I put my faith in Arteta, especially after the last 2 seasons. But now I'm turning faster than milk against Arteta. No doubt about it. Football's a fickle game where success is measured by the trophies you win. Some may laugh at what I'm about to say here, but I see Arsenal very comparable to England in the last 10 years. Because England in the last 10 years... they were horrendous. They were horrendous under managers like McLaren and Stuart Pearce and whoever took charge. And then Southgate came along, got you to a semi-final, got you to a final, but couldn't get us over the line. But Southgate was the best thing since sliced bread, according to a lot of England fans, because he was the best of a bad bunch. And that's pretty similar to Arteta. In the last 10 years, it's been shocking at Arsenal, absolutely shocking. And then Arteta's come along. Yeah, he's got us an FA Cup. He's got us competing for a Premier League. But he's just the best of a bad bunch, which sort of fools your judgment on him a bit. Because in the end, just like Southgate, Arteta can't get Arsenal over the line. Look, we can't deny Arteta in the last 2 years has got us competing for a Premier League trophy. You can't deny that. You have to take that into account from where we were to what we saw in the last 2 seasons you can't deny that's not improvement. For years and years we were barely getting into the top 4, mate. And then in the last 2 seasons, Arteta, he's got us fighting to the last day to win that Premier League. But he just can't get you over the line, and ultimately not winning a league. And then the performance we've had this season is ultimately not good enough. And if you look around Europe, any manager that sort of performed on the level Arteta is performing now with Arsenal, they'll be out the door. A manager's lifespan is as short as a dragonfly or a mayfly, these insects that last half an hour. And that's just like a manager. Look, Arteta clearly understands what it means to be ruthless because of the way he's dealt with certain players. He's treated certain players, for example, Ramsdale, Aubameyang, even Tierney to an extent. So he knows what it means to be ruthless. Maybe we should start applying that logic to him. We need to be a bit more ruthless to him, hold him accountable for the poor season we're having. Look, I want Arteta out whether we win or lose against Spurs tomorrow. I want him out, at the end of the day. But we've got to be real about it. I ain't going to sit here and say, I want Spurs to beat us, so Arteta can be shown the exit door so he can be booted out and sacked. Let's be real here, guys. That's not going to happen. He's going to stay to the end of the season. And if there's no trophies in that cabinet, then he will get sacked. He may even leave on his own accord if he's got any balls about him. If he loves Arsenal like he says he does, and it comes to the end of the season and there's not a trophy in that cabinet, then he's got to leave for the love of Arsenal, surely. At the end of the day, we're paying him 15 million a year not to win a trophy. That's criminal. And the money we pay for tickets, the money we pay for merchandise is second to none in Europe. I mean, that money we're paying, you expect trophies. This is the mentality of big clubs. You know, your Real Madrid, your Barcelona, where like the money you spend at this club, at them clubs, you know, it's through the roof. But at least they give you trophies in return. So you expect them, the money you spend, the money you give to this club, shouldn't be wasted on 15 million a year for someone who was picking up cones for Pep Guardiola only 5-6 seasons ago. North London Derby is a huge game tomorrow, not for Arteta to keep his job. I couldn't care less about Arteta keeping his job, right? It's for us Arsenal fans. Look, at the end of the day, let's be real, he's going to stay in this job until the end of the season. So now we just got to live on a hope and a prayer and hope we walk away with a trophy at the end of the season. I can't see it. I think the only silver thing at the Emirates Stadium come the end of the season will be the flushes on the toilet, mate. Both clubs have an injury crisis. Spurs and Arsenal, they're really suffering with injuries. I mean, I don't really focus on Spurs. I don't know really what's going on at Spurs. But if I'm coming from an Arsenal fan, it's concerning. This is another fault with Arteta. The strength of the bench is just ridiculous. You ain't going to win nothing with that strength. Like, you've got to take into account, if you're fighting for all 4 trophies, you need a huge bench. You need not just a bench full of kids. You need a bench full of proper, ready to go Premiership players. I don't want to hear excuses really about injuries. It is what it is. You know, you want to fight on all 4 trophies, you need a big squad, a big competing squad at the end of the day. But yeah, tomorrow, it's still a die for Arsenal. I mean, it's pretty much, the season's pretty much dead. The only thing we're fighting for is a Champions League. I mean, we've got to get the binoculars out to find Liverpool in first place. And even then, binoculars probably won't even work. You're going to need a freaking telescope because they're light years ahead of us. You're going to need a miracle from the footballing gods, especially if they turn over Nottingham Forest tonight, Liverpool. It puts the pressure so much on Arsenal tomorrow to win the game. Again, you just got to live on a hope and a prayer, see what happens at the end of the season. Yeah, listen, if Arteta gets sacked tomorrow, good, he probably deserves it. I'll leave it up to the board, because no matter what I say, no matter what we say, no matter what the Arsenal fans say, ultimately it's down to the Cronkies. If you like this video, hit up the like button like Arsenal are gonna hit up Spurs tomorrow in the North London Derby, and subscribe to Sports Almanac.